He repeatedly says, I know that's a tree, locked in a room with the door open and open, overcome by a single coin term, $0. New news, not giving, just editing what we have always already known. Until he can think of pushing instead of throwing. Misleading conflict, which may be contradictory, called contradictory, melancholia flicked on the surfaces before our eyes, arms rammed arboreally into the space. Anything, spotting it should be. A shoe, a sock, a spectacle frame, a pair of pants, as long as he thinks to press and not to shoot. Never stand in the desolate lights of ingenuity, searching a wardrobe, filling it, kicking the bundle of clothes, getting quite used to the noise. We are all very used to words bouncing off the walls of the room, but in my mind it was a wardrobe. Are we not reflected here? I wondered why. As conditions become softer in winter, we become shorter than summer. I decided it was because and thought nothing more of it. Should his egress involve fall or spring? I don't want to see, no seeing here. In the event of my death, ask for the boy with the soap bubbles. A yesterday, and a yesterday. And no, we cannot get out of it, because it behaves our words, and words like it. Repeat it to us.
Catches $1 in his free hand. Grinning, he repeats those same words. I know there's a tree locked in a room with the door open. It's open and overcooked. That $1 in his hand is worth $0, nothing. There's no news to give here. You're spinning some lost yarn, I tell you. Later, I begin editing our conversation. I've always known what I know, and you can't shake that narrative no matter how tough your grip is, how hard you pull at the thread. Tarnished, tall tales, yawning at this and that yarn. Today, all he seems to want to do is push me, instead of throwing the chance of a deal away. Christ, I'm sad lately, he says, melancholic, exhausted. You're susceptible, I say. Is that a warning, he asks. His worthless $1 is sharp. This is how wars are started. Can you tell me about misleading conflict, I ask? I'm referring to 1994, 1987, to yesterday. Are you calling me contradictory, he asks. I flick on a light. I flick a pen across the surface of the table, and right there before our eyes, he rams his arms out into space. Every lie is a branch of someone else's truth. His socks are old. He's penniless and he's a charlatan. His spectacles are water. He'd frame his own mother for a pair of pants. I press him for answers. Long, long days, and always that threat of a clear shot being fired across my bow. Drown me, sink and sing. Someone needs to sing. Listen, he says, in that way he has a demanding attention, focus. Never stand in the desolate light of ingenuity, searching for a suit that will never fit you. Get it handmade. Find a tailor. A wardrobe is only good for kicking clothes to the curb. Should we drive? We drive. By night, I'm getting used to the noise of this world. Flat sounds, empty spaces, hollow insects saying nothing because they don't own language. We're all very used to words, he says. His words bouncing off the walls of our mind. We're not in a room or a wardrobe. We're in a car moving while the ground beneath us moves, while the universe moves away from itself. We're not reflected here, no pool or mirror or echo. I wonder why, he has me say. The conditions of the road become softer. In winter, we become shorter, less of the person we were. In summer, we grow tall because we're afraid of the sun. Touch it, hold it, make sure it doesn't burn itself out. I've decided something, he says, slowing, stopping. It was all because I thought nothing more of it. It, I ask, pushing, pressing. I reel him in. It, I repeat. In the state of North Nebraska, the highest ever sentence for corporate crime was 200 words long. He could never hack that. He looks out into the land, but there's no land here. Just a worthless horizon, just an escape. I don't want to see or be seen, he says. Yesterday is the yesterday of our today, I tell him, but he doesn't bite. Tosses that worthless dollar again, catches it. No, he says, billion-dollar smile gleaming like a worthless dollar painted with certainty. We can't get out of this because it behaves like our words, and words like it when we repeat them to no one but ourselves. I take his coin. Everything is repetition, I tell him. Everything is repetition.
A pigeon arrived the other day, but Christ, sadly there was nothing for me. April the next, but not available to me. My hollow scribbled shape, ground glass, butterfly wings, tired from the war of the worlds, ever failing to finish. Every truth is a branch of someone else's lie. Trees still live who in their youth remember pigeons. But today I have good news. I can partially tell you what cannot be written. I wonder why I have, we said, to always cook up ears, to cultivate the happy, silly surfaces, the young man's head, a circle, about the same size as the bubble, his nose a triangulus of light. Repeatedly with a dove-grey cartridge, I remember the colour, spinning, grinning, turning, beaming, gyring, chortling. Too close to the axis or door, more exposed than he had assumed. How does this fit? Positive pictures shot in the corner of the room. Together, goodbye. Are we not beautiful streamlined creatures with slate blue heads and incredibly swift and graceful flyers? And for the very terms of our brains, I will partially tell you right. If you find what you are, it's a kind of deception. No, not famously stabbed to death in the bar. A cross between an animal and a mechanical projectile, peeling layers off a blood-red semisphere of fat. However, in the event of his death, please pass the soap. I did not mean to be difficult or nothing. If I could sing, I would, but I can't. I'm forever.